The air in the secure briefing room was thick, not just with tension, but with the smell of stale coffee and ozone. September 2024. For years, the threat from Tehran had been a digital haze, endless streams of propaganda, manipulated social media posts, and low-level network probing. But that day, the haze solidified into something lethal. Intelligence analysts weren't looking at election interference anymore. They were looking at logistics, at surveillance targeting the physical movements of a sitting United States political candidate. How did a state-sponsored hacking unit, usually content with digital mischief, transition its focus to plotting a kinetic, real-world assassination? That morning, the confirmation arrived. The digital shadow war had just crossed into the territory of state-sanctioned murder. Chapter 1. The Digital Erosion. The first stage of this escalation was quieter, a slow erosion of digital security that began long before the threats became explicit. We look back now to the evolving pattern of Iranian FIMI operations, foreign information manipulation and influence operations. It was a documented progression. It started with noise, flooding social feeds with anti-American sentiment and deepfake narratives designed to maximize internal discord. This was the state projecting its voice globally, trying to destabilize the landscape. But the hacking units, often linked to groups like Cyber Tufan, were far more capable than simple trolls. They were systematically testing the defenses of their primary adversary. The FBI later confirmed that this wasn't just generalized mischief. Specific Iranian actors were indicted for targeted operations, specifically designed to steal non-public campaign material from the former President Trump's 2024 election apparatus. They weren't just looking to spread lies, they wanted the secrets inside the headquarters. They wanted the strategy documents, the private communications, the raw intelligence that informed the campaign's next moves. This suggests a level of access and persistence far beyond typical espionage. They were building a complete intelligence profile. This capability wasn't limited to American politics. Simultaneously, these highly organized groups were mapping critical infrastructure elsewhere. Reports confirmed that Iranian-linked hackers successfully breached and leaked closed-circuit television footage from deep inside an Israeli defense contractor facility. To move unseen through that level of digital security, to capture proprietary data and make it public, requires advanced tooling and intense operational discipline. These weren't random acts of vandalism. They were synchronized military maneuvers, timed to coincide with strategic political moments. Chapter 2. The Threshold Crossed. The transition from information warfare to physical threat is the most terrifying leap a state actor can make. For months, intelligence agencies had tracked the digital reconnaissance, the scanning of networks, the exfiltration of data. Then came the intelligence briefing in September 2024. The threat was no longer hypothetical. The Trump campaign was informed that Tehran was actively plotting to assassinate the candidate before the end of the year. This elevated the entire conflict into a direct confrontation of state security. The digital attack was designed to serve the physical one. Imagine the process. Sophisticated cyber intrusions mapped the daily routines, the security protocols, the vulnerabilities of the target. The same cyber units that stole election strategy data were now potentially providing actionable intelligence for an on-the-ground operation. When the FBI formally announced indictments against specific Iranian cyber actors weeks later, they weren't just prosecuting election meddling, they were prosecuting espionage that fed a plot for political murder. The indictments named the culprits behind the keyboard, but the central, terrifying question remained unanswered by the public record. What was the specific, verifiable digital pathway or intelligence link that connected the hackers in Tehran who stole the data to the command structure authorizing the physical assassination attempt? Was it an intercepted communication authorizing the hit? Was it a data packet containing detailed blueprints of the target's movements, gathered digitally and handed off to a kinetic team? The line between the digital ghost and the physical operative had become almost invisible. Chapter 3. The Architects of Shadow. The Iranian state apparatus employs specialized units for this precise kind of gray zone warfare, units deeply integrated into the intelligence framework. We see the operators working in dimly lit rooms, their faces obscured by the glow of multiple monitors. The air hums with the sound of relentless rapid keyboard clicks, the silent language of data extraction. They are the digital reconnaissance team, meticulously cataloging every vulnerability, We see the evidence of their digital reach in complex schematics of server farms where streams of encrypted data flow outward, originating from stylized markers on a map of the Middle East, all targeting sensitive American infrastructure. The indictments serve as proof that the U.S. government tracked these digital signatures back to their source. But tracking the digital signature is not the same as intercepting the order to catch. The evidence trails off where the digital ends and the physical begins. When the FBI provided details on the election theft, they confirmed the intent to steal, but the specifics regarding the assassination logistics, the how and who of the physical planning, remained locked behind classification. We know the overarching strategy involved spreading comprehensive psychological warfare alongside the hacking to maximize chaos. This integration suggests a high level of coordination between the Psychological Operations Division and whatever unit was tasked with planning the kinetic action. Chapter 4. The Looming Danger. This crisis represents the evolution of modern conflict. It is no longer about armies marching across borders. It is about intelligence agencies using code as a precursor to violence. The sophisticated cyber groups demonstrating the ability to map an Israeli defense facility, leaking contractor CCTV footage and overlaying it with Farsi text, have proven they possess the advanced access necessary to gather the intelligence needed for a lethal operation. If these actors can penetrate a high-security defense contractor, penetrating the routines of a political candidate is merely a matter of time and priority. The danger is that the digital intrusion provides the operational advantage for the physical threat. An assassination plot, enabled by real-time surveillance data harvested digitally, bypasses conventional deterrence. The shadow war inside Iran's hacking apparatus is now laid bare. The digital noise has yielded actionable deadly intent. We know the actors were identified, and we know the U.S. government issued formal indictments for their election interference. But the true, chilling success of this digital strategy lies in how close they came to using that stolen data to authorize physical harm. The knowledge gap persists. We know the attack was planned, but the full extent of the digital-to-physical nexus, the precise electronic trigger that would have set the assassination in motion, remains the most dangerous secret uncovered by this shadow war.